Okay, so let's get going because I don't want to waste your time. It's 73 of us, so I don't want to hide my emotions. I am stressed, okay? And this is one of my first times on this platform, so I don't really know how it works. Like, I can do these crazy things, like switch from my webcam to this other camera. Let's see if it works. Yes, it works. So you can see in the background, there's my studio. It's totally empty because I've been fixing it and sort of revamping it. But I'm going to switch back to this one. So it's more like a face-to-face kind of thing. Feel free to chat here in the side chat and exchange your opinions on what we're going to be saying, because what we say is kind of what we're going to be covering is kind of, it could be good, it could be bad. It all depends on how you see it. I'll tell you, of course, my opinion, but maybe you can discuss it on your own and kind of come to a conclusion yourself. So what are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to be talking about an update that includes a category of, let's say, employee in Emirates. It's called CSA. It's cabin service agent. It's not cabin crew. It's different, although they're dressed the same and they work in the same on the aircraft together. They both work on the aircraft. So CSAs have different tasks, they have different responsibilities, so we'll be covering that, and we'll be talking about the changes that are being applied now to economy cabin crew members, and also that are regarding the CSAs as well. We'll be talking about allowances. I don't know if you remember from the previous videos that I've done, but each cabin crew receives allowances in the local currencies wherever they go. If I'm talking too quick, please let me know. I don't want you to not understand something. So now allowances are changing, things will be changing, and it's going to be a bit tougher for a couple of things that I'll be covering. So that's why I want you guys to talk in the side chat and see if it's good or bad. Maybe you have a different perspective on it. We'll be talking about the pilot accommodation. Changes to this, and this is going to be a dramatic, kind of drastic and negative change for pilots. There might be some pilots that might leave the company and go back to Europe, but I think it's kind of unlikely given the fact that there isn't that type of luxury there was before, where there was a lot of employment in Europe. Now, unfortunately, companies, airlines in Europe are laying off cabin crew and pilots at the same time. They're sending their aircrafts back to their leasers. So this option of going back to Europe, saying, oh, okay, so you want to take this perk away, then I'm going back to Europe, or I'm going back to the US, I'm going back to Asia. No, that doesn't work anymore. So we'll see how that works. And we'll be talking about how the hospitality and customer service sector is affected by the coronavirus pandemic, and how pilots are going to be extremely affected by this, and especially new pilots, so cadets. See, there's a lot of comments on the side. I'll be answering to those comments later on. 95 people, that's insane. All right, so we'll be talking about that later on, and then a little bit of thank yous that I owe to some of you at the very end of the session. And at the very, very end, for whoever wants to stay, we'll be showing San Francisco. Because most of you weren't able to hear what I said at the beginning because my microphone was kind of playing tricks on me in games, we'll be doing a layover in San Francisco. I don't know if you remember, but there was, I think, Paritosh on the Emirates Wannabees. He shared a picture of me. He found it on Instagram. I don't know how he managed. He still didn't let me know. But he managed to find this picture of me on before a layover or after a layover. I can't remember. And the whole crew was there, and I'm in the far back. Well, I found a layover where I went for that flight. So the picture that you see on Facebook, you'll find the associated layover that I spent there with the whole crew. So I'll tell you exactly where one of the guys from the crew got punched in the face, because one of the guys got punched in the face. And I'll even tell you what we did after he got that punch in the face. So if you are interested in that layover, it's the last 10 minutes of this live session. And once this live session is over, it won't be viewable for a while because I have to edit it. I want to clean some parts off, like the part where the microphone didn't work. And then it'll be available again, I think, maybe in 2 or 3 days' time. All right, I agree. I don't know if anybody said it, but I should shut up and show you stuff, right? So I'm going to show you, let me see which, what should I click? Yes, this. Yes. All right. Okay. Right. So CSAs, what are CSAs? CSAs, or Cabin Service Agent in Emirates, are, and it says right here, I found it off of the site, Paddle Your Own Canoe. By the way, if you want to know the latest trends, this is a great website where to find latest trends in the aviation industry. And they say the truth all the time. So they're kind of like me. Although I love Emirates and everything, if they do something that is kind of wrong, I will say it. If they do something amazing, I will say it. It's pointless to hide things from you guys. You need to take the right choice. And so this is part of it. Please let me know in the comments if the music is too loud, because I can't hear it. I disabled it and I cannot hear it. So CSAs are also known as shower spa attendants and are responsible for organizing the luxury, let's say luxurious part of the flight on board. So also like the soap, cream from the dispensers, and toilet paper and towelettes and stuff like that. In first class showers, they go also to business and also in economy. I'm not going to read the whole part from here because it's not very accurate. Yeah, so what does that mean? That the CSAs take care of the, let's say, the cleanliness on board. They take care of the toilets that they're replenished, and they make sure that they're not terribly dirty, and all that side of the flight. And the new update is that a new email has been sent to all the grade 2s. By grade 2, I mean economy cabin crew. So economy class cabin crew are identified as grade 2s, while business class cabin crew members are identified as grade 1s. And then you have first class members that are identified as FG1s. So this will only affect the grade 2s within the company. And practically one email was sent to them, and it said that each and every cabin crew will be scheduled with a 1 month roster as a CSA. So that means that they have to be on board, and they have no safety duties. They don't have like any safety and security checks that they have to do. They don't serve passengers. They don't do anything other than taking care of the cleanliness on board. And they're also trained differently, by the way, but it's not, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to cover that because it's not like really important. But the thing is that you have to see it in this way. Like you get rostered as a CSA, you have to clean the aircraft, and nowadays there aren't many people on certain flights. Like some flights, like for example, 1 week ago, the flight to Moscow was totally full. There wasn't even one seat to sit down on. Like it was crazy. It was completely full. And so it depends, but usually on a regular basis, a lot of passengers are not confident enough to be flying. And so the flight might be empty, and so a CSA might not be working that much as other cabin crew. Probably nobody's working that much, but CSA won't be working that much. Toilets won't be that dirty, and so on, so on, and so forth. So it won't be a problem, but in the moments that, like for example, the flight is full and the aircraft is dispatched with the exact amount of crew, there's no like extra crew, but just the exact amount of crew, that CSA, which is a grade 2, might not just carry out CSA responsibilities, but might also be asked by the cabin supervisor to help. You know, like the flight is full, they're about to land, and they can't manage to finish things because probably they said, I'll count on that CSA over there. Like they rostered him as a CSA, but I'll call him in for help if we need him. So they kind of lay back, and then of course they ask for help. So in that case, even though you're rostered as a CSA and you're supposed to do CSA duties only, not only you're doing CSA duties, but you might be also doing grade 2 duties, which is safety and security, or, well, no, safety and security you won't be doing, but you'll be probably, I don't know, take juice from the front to the back of the aircraft if it's needed, or serve customers, take orders or stuff like that. So those things could be done. You never know Emirates how they behave, because they say something and then on board it's totally a different thing. So that's one of the risks. And another risk is that, yeah, you're doing CSA duties. CSAs are paid less than grade 2s. So the risk is that Emirates sees that grade 2s are able and they're not complaining of being CSAs, and so they get paid as a CSA after a while. So this could be another risk where Emirates suddenly, they say, okay, you're rostered as a CSA, I'm going to pay you as a CSA. And cabin crew were okay with it at the beginning, and so they probably won't fight back that much when this happens. So I just hope that cabin crew, that this doesn't happen, and the cabin crew fight back if it does. And another thing that isn't that nice that I wrote down and I wanted to talk about is that there isn't an option. Like you can't choose not to work as a CSA. Like you have to if you're rostered. Like if you don't show up, you get an absent, and after a couple of absents, well, nowadays with an absent, you get fired, or you get laid off, or fired because you willingly didn't go to work, so it's your fault. So that could be a problem. All right, let me change cameras to spice it up a tiny little bit. Let's see, is it this one? Oh, you tell me, isn't that cool? Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. All right, enough. Let's keep on going. Allowances. So we're talking about allowances now. Let me first check the comments. I want to see if you guys are saying that if the audio is good. Let me see. Just 1 second. It's fine now. It works now. Okay, that was so too far back. All right, so I see that everything's fine, so I'm gonna continue now. All right, so allowances. Allowances now won't be, I don't know if you remember, but I said that allowances are disbursed at the hotel. So they give you like a small little brown paper bag and your money isn't there. It's in local currency and it's like cash and some coins and stuff like that. They give you the hotel key, you go upstairs and then you go on your layover. Nowadays, they're changing things and this is not going to happen anymore. The payslip will have your allowance in it. So you're not gonna get to the hotel and you're gonna get that. You're not gonna get that brown bag. You're just gonna get it into your payslip. And there's good pros and cons with this. The fact that you don't get local currency cash, I think it's like a little bit of a hassle. For example, if you go for street food and you want to get a mango sticky rice, for example, in Thailand, or I don't know, you're just walking around the street and you want to buy a souvenir in Indonesia or something like that. I don't think you can pay like, I don't know, 50 cents of a euro, or I don't know the currency, the Indonesian currency, but it's going to be very cheap. I don't know if you want to pay with your credit card or if they accept credit cards for a souvenir. I mean, it would be kind of funny. So that's kind of a problem. So if you don't have money to buy street food and you don't have money to buy, for example, the souvenir that I was saying, or a tea or a coffee, that means you have to withdraw money yourself and then you can buy these things. And if this is true, currency conversion rates abroad with your credit card are usually very terrible. And not only that, also there's like terrible fees. Like I can't remember correctly, but I think that Emirates MBD or ADC, what's the name of the bank? I forgot. ADCB or something like that. I can't remember. Not ACDC. That's a rock band. All right. So practically, the fees are high. The currency conversion is terrible. And also the risk is that some places around the world, like South Africa, Brazil, they have kind of this tendency of cloning cards. Like there's other places around the world, of course, but I've heard a lot of stories of these areas being kind of risky. And when they clone your card, they can withdraw money as much as they like. They can purchase stuff as much as they like off of the internet. And once you get back home and you check your transaction history on your bank, you're like with your hands in your hair, and you're like, what the hell? And so you have to contact your bank. You have to talk to your bank, and then, yeah, of course, after reporting that, they'll give you the money back if you're lucky, if things go down properly. But it's a hassle, and so having the allowance in your payslip could be a little bit of a problem, maybe for some not. But there are some workarounds. One of the workarounds is, for example, getting a Revolut card. Revolut card is practically like a credit card, debit card, and I think that you don't pay. Like the fees are really, really low, either monthly or yearly, and it allows you to pay in the currency where you go at. Like if you go to the US, the money you have in your Revolut is also good as dollars. So if you go to the UK, it can be pounds. If you go to South Africa, rands. And the currency conversion rate is almost, or maybe equivalent as the one that you see on your phone, like XE rate, or if you just go and Google the exchange rate, it should be the same. So that's a good thing of Revolut. But on the other hand, I've heard really terrible things where if there's like too much money going back and forth between your bank account and the Revolut card or account, they can block it. And if they block it, and it happened, they block it for like 3 months. So like you already have, like you're going to experience problems and trouble on your layover, you won't be able to use it. ADCB Traveler Credit Card also is quite recommended. I've seen a lot of people using it and use it, and it's quite convenient. So it's one of the two. You can choose one of the two. And I'm going to I'm going to stop talking about allowances now. Maybe you can talk within the comments and agree or not agree if this is good or wrong and bad. But it's not just Emirates doing this. I think also Etihad is doing this. So it's a lot of airlines doing this. So it's nothing new. Now we're going to talk about one of the worst things, one of the worst changes that have happened. I think it happened like 2 days ago. I don't know if they already implemented it or not, but it doesn't regard cabin crew, it regards pilots. So if you are interested in being a pilot in Emirates, or if you're just curious, or if you're a pilot, or if you know anyone that is a pilot, and these are the changes that are going to affect pilots in Emirates, and it regards the accommodation. So practically, how does accommodation work? 1 second, I have it on a picture because I honestly cannot remember everything. Hold on. Okay, just 1 second of patience. Okay, so pilots receive 13,664 dirhams, or an equivalent of 3,725 US dollars per month, if I'm not mistaken, for their accommodation, if they choose to live out. So practically, it's almost the same thing that I was doing. Like, I can choose to stay within the network that Emirates has with their own furniture, and so I don't have to pay anything. Everything is paid for. Or I can choose to live out, and I can choose any accommodation wherever I want, and they give me a given amount of money, like a specific amount of money, and I can choose to use it all, or to use a little bit of it and put the rest in my pocket. So a lot of people in Dubai, you have two type of people. You have the people that love living in luxury and the best side of Dubai and show off, or not show off, but live very, very comfortably, which is beautiful. It's amazing. When I was living in Ticom, it was great. It was fantastic. Or you have those people that don't care about the luxury living and the fun side and the relaxing side of having things just right below your home and stuff like that. And they're totally fine living in the desert, or living like in the countryside, let's say, far away from the city. And why is that? Because it's very cheap. And because it's cheap and you're given like X amount of money, if you pay very little for your rent, then the rest goes into your pocket. Well, things have changed now. And unfortunately, pilots, they go to the apartment they want, or to the villa they want, or whatever it is. And whatever the landlord says and claims on the contract, that's what Emirates pays. So we're going to be seeing a lot of pilots choosing one of the, going to the best accommodations and trying to reach the maximum limit allowed by Emirates monthly. We're not going to see any pilot living in like these lower key apartments. Everybody's going to try to go to the best places because they can't save that money and put it back into their pocket anymore. And so I think we're going to be seeing that kind of phenomenon. So that's kind of bad because if you do a calculation, a really quick calculation, let's round it up to $3,000 per month, and that's times 12. That's a lot of money. So if you take that, like let's say one of those pilots decides to get a flat, to live in a flat that costs $10,000, that's a lot of money, excess money directly in their pocket, and they get that no matter whether they're sick or not or whatever. They always get that money. So it's kind of tough, you know. And also I heard, but it's not official, I really don't know about this, but the accommodation allowance has been reduced by 15%. Now, all I said before is official, but the pilot accommodation, this part right here, I'm not 100% sure, but on my next live sessions, which I'll be doing more often, hopefully without making mistakes, I'll be including I'll try to corroborate this and see if it is 100% accurate. But I've been told by employees in Emirates, so it should be very reliable. Now, another thing that I wanted to say, and this regards cabin crew and pilots as well, is that things are changing within Emirates, and new things are happening. And unfortunately, there's no luxury anymore to go back to Europe and say like, okay, so you're doing this and you're doing that, and I'm not happy with it, I'm going back to Europe. That's something that you can't say anymore, because Europe is, like, as I said before, they're laying off a lot of their employees. They're sending aircrafts back to their leasers. For example, right now, Norwegian just discontinued their long haul destinations, like the connections between Europe and the US. They're completely discontinued. I don't really know the route network of Norwegian's route network, but I do know that that they discontinued the long hauls to the US. And let me go back to this side. Okay. So this luxury going back to Europe isn't available. It's not there anymore. And so it's kind of a little bit of a problem, and it's like take it or leave it, just like I showed on the thumbnail. And I wanted to say that nowadays, everybody in the hospitality industry and in the airline industry are very much suffering. Airlines, I think they're suffering the most. And cabin crew are suffering a lot. They're getting laid off and everything. And I understand that's not nice. But for pilots, let's say, for pilots, when they get a pilot license, they pay up to 50 to 60,000 euros if you're getting it in Europe with a school that is like not guaranteeing you a job right after. And some other pilots are like paying 140,000 euros. 140,000 euros. I don't know if you know how much money that is. That's crazy. It's an insane amount of money. And when they get that license and they lose their job and airlines are not hiring anymore, it's like they probably sold their flat, or they sold their house, or they did something like this is their dream job. They really want to do it, and it's like kind of it's really frustrating at the moment. Like pilots are really in a hard position, in a very tough position. And I have 3 or 4 friends that I was in a video call some days ago, and they just got they're almost at the end of their ATPL license. Like they're about to get that license, and the industry has laid off so many pilots, and pilots that have tons of hours, like not tons, tens of thousands of hours. Like you probably have first officers and captains that have I don't know, like they probably have like 10,000 hours or even more. And these pilots are like considered experienced, and they're now redundant, and they're in the market looking for a job. They're trying to apply for every airline out there in Europe or whatever to find a job. And my friends that are just getting their license, their TPL license, they're in a situation where they have no experience, and they're not like old, but they're like 33, 34, and their situation is a little bit tough if they compare themselves to other pilots that are in the same industry and searching for a job. So you're practically comparing people that might be of the same age or even younger with 10,000 hours with people that don't even have their license yet, and they're older and have no experience, no hours. So I see this as a really, really bad situation, very frustrating situation for those that have paid a lot of money and had no idea that this coronavirus pandemic would happen, and now happen to not have a job and having their, let's say, if you're looking at the horizon, you might not have a job. Like there might not be job openings in this field for pilots for another, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 years. And if there are, they're going to hire people that are younger and that have more experience, or maybe not younger, but that have good experience. So it's kind of tough, and it hurts me because they're my friends, and and I feel sorry also for all the other pilots that are in the process or already got their license and they're struggling now. So it's terrible. It's really terrible. But I think everybody's suffering, so everything's terrible now. So now, before we watch the video together of the layover, because we're at the end of all the updates, I want to see what you think about it. Let me see the comments. Hold on a second. Okay, before I talk about anything else, I wanted to show you, this is the Revolut card. So if you need to know where to go, it's revolut.com. Norwegian, this is one of the news articles that talks about Norwegian and like how they're keeping their short haul network, but they're let's say they're abandoning their long haul network. So if you're interested into this link, I can put it into the description of this video so you can check it out. We're going to go on a layover right now with this set of crew. We're going to San Francisco. This guy right here is the guy that got punched in the face, and she's my joining mate and batchmate, Wendy. All right, gotta close that up. And so this is the video. So for who wants to stay and watch this video with me, we're going on a layover together. For those that aren't interested, it's totally fine, no worries. I wanted to thank you all for being here. I don't know how many people were watching. I see that now we have 118 viewers. That's insane. I'm going to answer some questions at the end of this video. And I wanted to thank, let me see right here. I'd like to thank Arsalan for the very kind comment that he left on the Emirates Wannabees Facebook group. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Really didn't expect it, but thank you. If you're interested in knowing what he wrote, just go to the Emirates Wannabees Facebook group and check it out. Like, really beautiful words he said. I wanted to thank Radek, Francisco, and John for leaving their recommendation on LinkedIn. That's going to help me out in making my profile on LinkedIn more reliable. I'd like to thank all our patrons. So Michael, Angad, Chiara, Francesco, Ravi, Matteo, Anuret, Kimiso, and Nada, and our YouTube members, Kailita and Krishna. Thank you very much for your support. Let me open this up. Let me switch to the front. Let me see. Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to answer your questions towards the end. I hope you guys stay. Let's go to San Francisco.
We rented our bikes at Blazing Saddles. Went to Pier 7.
Let me know if you can hear everything from this
Lombard Street
video.
To the Palace of Fine Arts. We crossed the Golden Gate and went for some pictures at Battery Spencer and Fort Baker. Then we went to Sausalito and took the ferry back to San Francisco.
Can you guys hear everything?
It's $8.50 per hour. Every bike.
Hi, Victor.
Security deposit. That's $100 per bike. And you see these rails right here? Lift your bike.
You're very welcome, Chiara.
And then you have to connect this.
All right, so here, this is a part where one of our members got punched in the face.
You get a special rate of 18.
But you're not going to see it. But right here, all right, so you see right here, this is a setup crew, because if you're a photographer and videographer just like me, you stop everywhere and do videos, and most of the cabin crew will get upset and annoyed at you. I was quite quick. I wasn't like using and abusing of their low volume is like the film, like the video is low, or my voice is low. Let me know. So the guy got hit right here. They were right there, and he got hit right here. But pretty much we didn't call the police because bit low volume. Is it the music or the audio is very loud? The music, I guess. I'm not sure. Is it the video is low? All right, so let me bring that up.
Instead of $8.
All right, now it should be louder.
Super cheap.
I'm learning with you guys. So practically, we didn't call the police because the police, they would have to do like there would be like some kind of a lawsuit or something. I don't know how to say it, denuncia in Italian. I don't know how to say it in English. But it would take time. We would have to go to the police station and deal with it. And look, that's like, I don't know, like 4 hours. 4 hours time of dealing with the situation, and we didn't want to waste our time. And he didn't like break anything. He just got it like some kind of a scratch or some blood. He was just bleeding a tiny little bit. And also there were a lot of people there that were under the effect of drugs. And look, I'm promising you, there was a lady that ripped all her shirt like this, and she was bleeding because she bit her tongue so hard that she was bleeding over her neck. Like, it was very traumatic. Like, it was crazy. And how many times am I saying like? Oh my god. Anyways, it was insane. And so we just chose to leave because it was in broad daylight. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, the music is too high. Perfect. Thank you very much. Let me bring it down. Is that better? Let me see. Okay, you guys let me know if the music is too high. Anyways, let's keep on going. So this is the whole crew, and we rented the bikes. Going on a bike path.
Hi everyone, how are you?
It was a beautiful layover. San Francisco is a beautiful city.
Pier 39 was opened on October 4th, 1978. Used to be a dock for boats. Now it's a shopping center and a popular tourist attraction.
Is it still too low?
You can see Angel Island, Alcatraz Island, the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Bay Bridge.
Let me know if the audio is still too low, yeah? Sounds quite loud to me.
A place where you can do an aqua massage. A two-story carousel and an aquarium with views of California sea lions are one of the most dominant features of Pier 39.
Alcatraz, oh my god, you gotta go there if you go to San Francisco. Wow.
Alcatraz.
Only one person was able to escape from Alcatraz.
Must have been really hard to break out of that prison.
All right. Oh, this place is amazing.
Going to a very beautiful street. It's called Lombard Street.
Oh, I gotta say this. Hold on. His name is Mohammed, if I'm not mistaken.
San Francisco, and this is one of the most peculiar streets in San Francisco because it goes down at a...
Thank you, Grant Rennie. I never got, I don't know how to even call it because I never got it. Like a tip or something? Thanks.
This side looks like Need for Speed Underground.
Okay, I can't show you, but there was another cabin crew right there, Mohammed, and he asked me for the pictures from this layover like twice, but like the first time and then the second time was like 1.5 years after he remembered about me, but he said, hey, where's the pictures? And I still forgot to get them to him because we're not friends on Facebook, so I don't know how to get back to him. I don't know, maybe when we're 80 years old. You remember that day when we were in San Francisco? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Can you imagine? All right.
Lombard Street is famous for being super steep and with 8 hairpin turns.
All right, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's amazing.
It is a major tourist attraction, receiving around 2 million visitors per year and up to 17,000 per day on a busy summer weekend.
Practically this area right here, I don't know if you ever watched the film Mrs. Doubtfire. This is where practically the video was, the film was shot. I don't know if it's exactly here, these houses right here, but nearby. Really? Who you're working for? Lovely. San Francisco's amazing. I really love it. I miss it. Can't wait to go back. And the weather was perfect, like not too much wind, not cold, not too hot. And we were biking, you know, so it's kind of hard to feel great, you know, throughout the whole day.
Wendy!
Yeah, that's Wendy. She's from the US. I'm not sure exactly where from. Really? I did the video. Why do I have to watch ads? American Airlines. All right. So how are the things? All good? Over there? I can skip this ad. Yeah. Los Angeles is like crew to crew. Yeah. Los Angeles is like crazy. It's super huge. The city is like spans so much and it takes you 2-3 hours to get from one side to the other.
Why did you take us to the... It's so bad, guys. This building right here is the Palace of Fine Arts. Recommend coming here. It's really nice. Taking some pictures.
We had such a good time. So if you ever become a cabin crew, this is what you'll be doing the whole time. Damn it. Should be louder now.
Right there. Just saw it before. There's a couple, a white dress. This is a perfect location for it, I guess. And the villas around are really beautiful and all different architecture. Like some of them are Victorian, some of them are like new style. Like the Palace of Fine Arts was originally constructed for the 1915 Panama Pacific Exposition in order to exhibit works of art. Other than art exhibitions, it's a popular attraction for tourists and locals.
Hi, Salar.
Favorite location for weddings and photo shoots. The series Sense8 and Alfred Hitchcock's...
Yeah, if any one of you have watched Sense8, this is a place where they shot one of the videos. Wendy. Grant, oh my God, how many tips are you giving me? Stop it. Thanks. That's amazing. I hope they do that in every single airline. My friend just lost his job in Norwegian. We do yoga together, and it broke my heart. We talked today. I'm happy you're doing great. That's great.
Say hi to the camera.
No, I didn't go to the hippie street. Damn it. A bit too late now.
Alfred Hitchcock chose this site for his film Vertigo.
Journalism? Really? Thanks.
At the bottom of the bridge.
I don't think I'm
deaths,
up for it, like good for it.
Is the second most used bridge for suicides in the world.
Yeah.
So how do you like that view?
This bridge is one of the top locations for committing suicides. Can you imagine?
Bicycles, 9 different people with different personalities and physiques. It's not that easy.
Yeah, it was so many of us. I think it was like 10 cabin crew. And usually if it's 10 people, it's kind of tough, really tough to do things, because one guy wants to go one way and another guy wants to go to another way. My God, I can't talk with this music in my ears. So it kind of gets tough.
Suspension bridge. It's one of
Better to be like 3 or 4 cabin crew max.
San Francisco.
But if you're partying, more is the merrier.
7 meters. Width 27.4 meters. Height 227.4 meters. Opened on the 27th of May 1937. The Farmer's Travel Guide describes the
And Terminator was filmed here. Terminator Salvation.
bridge in
Really nice place.
Spencer was a strategic defense outpost during First and Second World War. The area is a tourist attraction now. Dramatic shots of the city and the Golden Gate Bridge together can be unique. If you have time, go uphill and visit Marine.
This is a shot that I did with a drone.
That's the spot where Schwarzenegger and Terminator was filmed.
Hot time, thank you very much, but I don't think I'm really up to the task. Like, I would love to do that, but I'm not such a professional. But thank you. I'll reach out and see what they answer. But thanks. So now we're pedaling, like, I don't know how many kilometers we've been doing, like, maybe like 10? I said at the beginning, I can't remember. And this is one of the most relaxing and most beautiful areas of San Francisco. It's called Sausalito.
It was an amazing day today, wasn't it, Sarah?
I did something a little bit illegal. I was drinking and flying the drone, but I just flew it over the water, so any mistake would get it into the water, so I don't feel so guilty, you know.
Love it.
And she's Italian-American, just like me.
Good old beer.
Yeah. I love that moment. It was so good. I miss it. Yeah, guys, I miss being a cabin crew. But I do get nightmares at night sometimes. I'm going to talk about that on another video. Sometimes I get some nightmares, like I have to serve some passenger and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't want to. I want to sleep. And then I realize it's a nightmare, you know? Crazy. I'd love to read that, Grant, but I can't read it right now because the music is going to distract me so much. I'm not going to understand the comment, but later I'll get back to it and read it out. Thank you, Grant. Stop it. And now we're heading back home. But before, we gotta eat something, right? So the whole crew goes there. And we had a cabin crew that was like, he didn't want to pay the tip, you know? In the US, I think it's 20% minimum. And so we were kind of arguing because we know how it works in the US. You have to pay a tip, you know? And where he comes from, you don't do that. So we were kind of arguing.
There is a mad rush in America. Apple, Amazon, Facebook, dozens more.
Skip the ad. I added the shark.
There's 2 options to get back to San Francisco. You can either go back by cab, it's quite expensive, but direct and easy. Or you can get a one-way ferry trip for $12 and enjoy the spectacular lights of San Francisco by night.
This was amazing. Such a relaxing moment. Yeah, having another beer here with the rest of the crew. It's really nice.
So the conclusion, definitely visit San Francisco. I love that city. Thumbs up for it. I hope you liked the video, and I'll definitely see you on my next video. Bye.
All right, so that's the end of the video. Thank you for staying all the way to the end of the whole live session. Now I'm going to read some comments, and let me see here. I'll scroll to the very top. Bring this back. There's so many comments. I'm trying to find which ones are the questions. Andre Powell, do you think if we apply this year, they will call us maybe more towards the end of the year? I don't know. You still have to go through the digital interview, and only if you pass that digital interview, you are shortlisted to one of those group exercises, the assessment day. And so whenever they open those digital interviews, because from my experience, from what I've seen, if you apply for a digital interview, like you pass it, they'll say at the moment we're currently experiencing difficulty with this coronavirus pandemic, and as soon as we reopen the positions and everything, we'll let you know, something like that. So what you have to do is you have to constantly try and see if they have digital interviews that you can do, that you can successfully do, and so then you can put yourself into that pool of people that have been screened in their with a digital interview, and they have passed that. So they're in that pool of past people, if you can say it that way. And when they start opening vacancies, they're going to call those first. So it's better to apply first rather than later. But I don't know at what point they will be starting. They will start hiring people, and maybe as they're doing for American Airlines, they'll start re-employing those people that were laid off. So it all depends on that, and also depends on the passenger confidence, if they're confident enough to travel. Because nowadays, if you go, for example, to I'm not sure where, maybe to Italy, you have a 14-day quarantine. Now, already a 14-day holiday is quite long, you know, and I'm not going to get a 14-day holiday leave to go for 14 days quarantine somewhere, you know. It's just, it's dumb, you know. Somebody just gave me a $50 tip. Guys, stop it, really. Please, that's insane. What are you doing? Oh my God. Thank you very much. I can't see who it was though. Rafael. All right. Thank you, Rafael. I will thank you later by WhatsApp call. You're crazy. I can't remember what I was saying, but yeah, if the digital interview is available, do it. And for the assessment days, when they're oh my God, my English, when they open these job positions again, this I don't really know. It all depends on how the pandemic goes, how everything follows through. Let me see. Will Emirates have an opportunity for Sri Lankans to join as a cabin crew for Emirates, like a percentage? For sure they'll hire Sri Lankans, but I don't know what percentage. I really don't know. Sorry, Van Dort. What happens if you don't pass the medical? Well, you're simply sent back home, but they try to make sure that you pass the medicals before you go there, always. Let me see other questions. Is booking hotel rooms the duty of the purser? No, management takes care of that. The purser just gets there and he gets his key and he goes to his room, and it's all based on seniority. So you first have the captain, then the first officer, then you have the purser, and then the cabin supervisors, and then FG1s, grade 1s, and grade 2s, depending on when they joined. What else? Let me see. What do you mean by payslip, Faris? So payslip is like your salary that you get at the end of the month. So every time you get that salary, we were talking about allowances, you'll see a breakdown of what you're paid for. Like let's say you're paid for the flying hours, the basic salary, duty free, for example, and included there, you'll see in the breakdown, you'll also see the allowances. Is it true by the A-lister family? Is it true that Emirates don't hire Filipinos as cabin crew? No, that's not true. They hire everyone. There isn't. I'm not sure exactly if there's someone that they don't hire. but they hire everyone as far as I know. And they only hire fewer of a certain specific nationality depending on how many people they have. So if they have like a high percentage of Filipinos, they're not going to hire Filipinos because they don't need so many Filipinos. The idea behind being Emirates is being cosmopolitan. That's why they're such a fantastic company. So it would be against their interest to only hire Filipinos or have like a predominant amount of one nationality. So like British or Americans, it would be terrible if it would only be like one nationality. They wouldn't be cosmopolitan, you know. All right, so let me keep on going. Why did they change giving money in local currencies? I don't know. Usually the way it works, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not completely sure, but if I'm not mistaken, what happens is people, the Emirates gets in touch with a hotel, and they tell them how much money they want to disperse to each cabin crew, purser, and senior supervisor, and to the pilots. And so they make sure that that amount goes into the pocket of the cabin crew, of the employee. And so probably the currency conversion rate is conducted by Emirates. So like they're sending that amount of money, they're refunding that amount of money to the hotel, because that's the money that the hotel disbursed to the employees. And so they have to pay a larger currency conversion rate. But by giving the money directly in the pockets of the cabin crew, for the currency conversion that is online, will save them a lot of money, because they're not doing it internationally, they're just giving it in dirhams. So that's probably going to save some money to the company. It's also easier because there's no I'm quite sure that someone is putting money in those brown pay slips, in those paper pay slips, and you have to pay that one person that is constantly putting money in these pay slips. So you don't, if you can avoid that expense, then they'll do it. Which airlines, by Uktar Shpuniani, what do you think in today's time, which are currently the best airlines? It's hard to say. Everybody's suffering, and I really don't know. But if I have to recommend which airline to try to join for, I would go for it. Well, Norwegian now is suffering, so I don't know. But Emirates, Etihad, Qatar Airways, they're great for well, Emirates is great to work for, apart from the fact that sometimes they take away some perks and some benefits, and they make it hard for the employees. But those are the airlines that I kind of recommend. Etihad Airways. There's some really good Asian airlines, but they don't accept foreigners. They have to be like citizens of the local airline. So it's kind of, well, you can't apply for those airlines. In Europe, there's Norwegian, which is really good. My friends were so happy, and they were really, their feelings were really hurt when they got laid off. But this is, it's part of the game. It happens when there's a pandemic. It's kind of normal. So yeah. So I can't really recommend much, but if you want to go for an airline, try to go for the best, or the one where they treat you the best, so that you'll feel comfortable and at ease, and you'll enjoy living your life. You don't want to suffer. Grant Rennie, hello, just got here. Gatwick Airport deleted from Norwegian Airlines routes, likely permanently. 1,100 staff laid off. Pilots moved abroad to other airlines. Yeah, that's what's happening. I have some friends that lost their job, and it's a tough reality. Let me see what else. Grant Rennie did a currency conversion for me. 140,000 euros is $170,000. That's the amount of money that you have to pitch in if you want to become a pilot. And at the end of this, usually, theoretically, you should have a job. And so it's kind of guaranteed because you paid more. Most of the people that don't have that much money, they'll go for those companies, which I really recommend. They're great. Like there's this academy called Bartolini. It's based in Poland, in a city called Łódź, and my friend is studying there, and they're great. They have really good aircrafts, diamond aircrafts, and they have like glass cockpits. They even have chestnuts, because typically you should be learning off of both systems. Like you should be learning from both types of aircraft, so that if you ever go for an airline and they test you with an aircraft that you didn't study, you're not going to end up like if you prepare for all types of aircrafts and cockpits and interfaces, then it's more likely that when you show up to like an interview and they test you on a specific aircraft, you'll know how to control that aircraft. You're not surprised. Let me see what else. Antonio Juric, I'm not sure. Is it going to be possible? I don't know. But the question is when. Don't expect anything in the next 2 years at least. I don't know. It all depends. Emirates claims. I'm not sure how truthful this is, but they claim that they're going to pick up all their destinations within this year. So if they do, they're going to need a lot of crew. So they might be opening for some job vacancies, but they might be rehiring redundant crew for the cabin crew that have been laid off. So I don't really know how things are going to go. It's kind of hit or miss. I don't really know. It's hard for me to predict. Grant Randy said, when I make my money in the not too distant future and buy my PC, 24 jet, you and your whole crew and friends will have 100% access to use it as much as you want year round. Pilots and fuel too. Well, thank you very much. That comes in handy. Palash, thank you very much for the tip. Guys, for anyone that gave me a tip and I didn't realize, thank you very much. I really, you don't have to and you shouldn't. I'm here for you guys to help you out. But of course, it's appreciated. Thank you very much. Let's keep on reading. Emirates, this is from Utkarsh. Emirates has around 190 destinations. Do crew get to visit all within 4-5 years? Well, I've been to around, I think 60, I can't remember, 62 or 64 destinations, not just Emirates. I traveled before Emirates, but I didn't manage to go to every single destination, and most of the not most, but a lot of these destinations are turnaround, so you'll never get off of the aircraft. You'll just breathe the air from the local air, but you're never gonna step foot on the tarmac and go to the airport and then enjoy the layover. Like for example, Maldives, you don't get off. Pilots do, but you don't. I don't know if it's still like that. I don't know if they fly to if Emirates flies to the Maldives right now, but it used to be that cabin crew would fly during the night back and forth, and pilots would stay there for a turnaround, for a layover. So not that good if you think about it. Kind of upsets me. Maldives is great. Let me see what else. Is there any change by Kavi Bajaj or Bayai or Bajaj? I don't know. Is there any change in the salary in Emirates? As far as I'm concerned, there's no change. Just the allowances will go into your payslip. That's as far as I know. But as soon as I know something new, if there's any change, I'll of course let you know. So you, Avia Z, you got slapped in your face by a passenger once during meal service over ice cream. This is physical contact. You should have restrained them right away. Right away. No questions asked. Did you? Let me know in the comments. Do recommendations from Emirates employees help in getting the job? Emirates does not give you any recommendation whatsoever. They only give you a letter saying that you work for them at the end, but that doesn't serve as a recommendation, so don't expect it. Let me see. Where can I apply for Emirates? By Caroline Schwartz. So you can apply for Emirates from their portal. So just go to emiratesgroupcarriers.com if I'm not mistaken, and go to the cabin crew section if you're applying for cabin crew, CSA if you want to apply for cabin service agent, and pilot if you want to be a pilot, and the joining links are there for all your formalities, but they're not hiring at the moment. Galaxy 202, if they open the assessment day, do I need to take pics to the assessment day? yes, you always have to take your own pics. They don't do the service for you. So you will be taking your casual pictures and your formal pictures and business attire yourself, and try to get them right because they really pay attention to that a whole lot. So let me see. Any luck for Nigerians being cabin crew? Absolutely yes. They hire Nigerians. There's no, really guys, there's no problem with the nationalities. It all depends on the amount of people they have. They, as I said, they don't want to have the same like set of crew every single flight. They want to have variety. So they hire anyone, really anyone. Let me see. Question by Teacher on the Road, Raffaele. Is 30 years the average age to join as cabin crew or the max age? 30 years is not the max age. Emirates doesn't provide a max age, although we know that there is sort of like a max age. The only limitation on the age is how young you are. Like if you're 20 or you're 19, there's no chance. The reason is, in order for you to serve alcohol, you have to be above 21. Some countries, for example, to get your driving license, you have to be 21. Not 18, but 21. So in Emirates, if you want to serve alcohol, you have to be at least 21. So that's why they hire you from 21 onwards. But there's no limitation on your age. I know there's a lot of people, but I don't know there's a lot of people. I know some people that joined when they were like 32 and 34. So like if they need people, they will hire people that are even older based on their experience and their CV and how they perform in the group exercises. Let me see what else there is. So many comments. What job you recommend to do now to have it in the CV to be ready when they hire again? Basically, what I can do now to be prepared after Corona. Hi, Miloslav. You're from Prague too. Nice to see you here. What job? You have to have some experience in customer service and hospitality. And I think it's really convenient to have those kind of skills where your reactions are quick. Like it's kind of easy, or it's a no-brainer for the recruiter to understand that you're a reliable person in high stressful situations, sort of. I'll give you my example for while I was going to university, I was making some money through refereeing. And refereeing is a super high stressful situation because you have to referee, but you also have to make sure that all the rules, like the ball is here, but you have to make sure that things left and right go fine. They're going right. And the game goes along. Like it's not just those two guys that are fighting for the ball that are hitting each other. Sometimes you have a guy to your right punching another guy, and you have to, with your side vision, you have to see that. So it's a lot of stress. If you make the wrong decision, it's again stress. And the parents are the highest stressful thing there are in the field, because they're constantly judging you and calling you names and stuff, and you have to keep your calm and you have to be professional because you're like an authority there and you take decisions. So if you write that down and you have a referee license, people know immediately what it means to be a referee. If you have specific skills like in revival or like CPR, or if you've done voluntary work in the Red Cross, this is all good stuff that you can put in your CV. So I kind of recommend you do that. Some of these things you don't even have to, like you apply and like it's voluntary work. So it's very likely that they might get you to help out. So if you do that, it's going to help you out. From Gaming Tuber, I have a cabin crew certificate from the ICAO. Will I be hired, sir? Having a certificate from any corporation, YARA or ICAO, or like some cabin crew diploma can help, but it's not necessary. As I said, my girlfriend, she's like, she was a fresher when she got hired. So you don't really need to have any certificate to join. You can do it yourself. Just, you have to pass the open day. You have to pass that interview. And these interviews are quite tough to pass. That's why you have to be prepared and you have to know all the techniques, especially your body language. Like, the way you hold your hands, the way you look at people. If you smile, like smiling, I noticed throughout my mentorships on Patreon, I've noticed so many people that are great communicators, but they forget that people are not there just to hear your words. They're also to see your face and the way you transmit your message with your body language. And if you look stressed and your eyes are going everywhere and they're wide open and your pupils are completely closed, like all that kind of stuff, some of them are really hard to control. If you just mess up your body language, people will perceive you as stressed. And if you're stressed in a situation where, for example, you're supposed to be calm, like on the icebreaker in the Emirates interview, there's a first stage where you're getting to know your buddies, and then you have to present your buddy to the rest of the group. If you're already stressed there and it's just an icebreaker, then the recruiter won't proceed with your profile. So you have to manage to keep your cool. So Warren Smith, he said, why do I have an overlay on your stream? Or am I doing something wrong? I am seeing how to explore San Francisco and Sausalito by bike. Yes, that is correct. We were watching that video before to show people how our layover went, and people are curious of how layovers are with the crew. And so we were watching that before. Isabella, hello. What about the people that were made redundant while in training course with Emirates? Is there any chance to be called back? Yeah, because you guys passed already the interview and you were already selected and shortlisted through every single stage. You even passed your medicals and everything. So it's very likely they could call you back. But the thing is that they have to check you again, because what happens if you fell and you broke your nose or I don't know, you scratched your face and there's like a very deep scar here. Like they have to make sure that that you're still in the same physical shape, let's say, as you previously applied for Emirates. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's important for you to it's not important for you, just reapply and see if you have to do the open day, the whole process again. Just apply again, and if you ever get an email from the recruiter, if you ever had an email, received an email by one of the recruiters or one of the management, from someone in the management, make sure to tell them, look, I already applied and I passed everything. What should I do? So maybe you have the upper hand and you can get shortlisted even quicker, and not just to an assessment day, but just by sending pictures of you or having a video call, and then they'll establish that you're good to go, and they'll send you for, how do you say, like they'll ask for you to go there first rather than other people that pass the open day, but just not the open day, but just the digital interview. I hope that makes sense. All right, so I think it's a little bit late. I have to go. It was a pleasure to have you all here. We've been here for about an hour and 50 minutes. This video will be available again in, I think, 2 to 3 days. I have to edit it, but first I have to do my podcast for Patreon. If you enjoyed our stream and you think that this was a very cool thing, and it's a little bit of a diversification, can you say that, of the content I'm doing? Because so far I've been doing videos on YouTube, and those videos that you have the thumbnail and you click it and you watch it and it's done. But this is live and we're actually interacting. If you think that this was good, I'll do it again. I have no problems. I am enjoying it. I felt stressed at the very beginning, but I got over it, and now I'm actually having fun. So I kind of feel sad I gotta leave, but I gotta go out. I gotta hit the castle that is right across my house, and I just bought this thing right here. It's the DJI Osmo Action, and this thing will allow me to do videos with great audio, because practically I connect an audio adapter right here, and wherever I put the camera, even like 50 meters away, I can still record my video like super clear and crisp, and the video will also be good. So be sure that you'll be sure that I'll be doing a lot of videos now and with good audio, and I'll be doing more vlogs. I'll be going around the city and talking to you guys through those videos. But let me know in the comments if you want me to do these live sessions. I gotta get going, so thank you for being here. It was a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. And I'll see you, I guess, maybe on Sunday, next Sunday, for another stream. I'll do some news podcast, some news live video, and I hope to see you there. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. Orlando signing out. See you on the next one.